Hey music junkies, Professor of Rock here with our latest edition of Pop Fix, where of course we focus on the greatest artists and the greatest songs of all time. Please subscribe below and join our community of music celebration, because I want to introduce you to an anniversary segment that we're going to be featuring for the next year, where we will celebrate the year 1985, covering every #1 hit from that year. We're also going to include commentary from some of the artists, writers, and the producers who helped to create these classic songs, where I've sat down and interviewed them. We start with 4 songs, so let's get to it. Richard Page of Mr. Mister didn't think that Broken Wings would ever be a hit. They thought that the song was too long. They thought it was too personal. You see, Broken Wings is about the band's recovery from cocaine addiction as they learned to fly again. And many musicians at the time considered cocaine to be a harmless creative muse. But cocaine derailed Richard Page and the rest of the band for several years. We produced a mini documentary that we're going to be releasing soon on the story behind this phenomenal song. Here's a soundbite from singer and co-writer Richard Page on this idea.
I mean, you go into a session and guys would have these 3-gram vials of coke, like sitting on their synthesizer, you know, and people were chopping it up. It was like, you know, Freud used it, it's not addictive, and it's a creative person's thing. Well, that's how we kind of all got into that. But of course, you know, we've seen the damage done. And it really kind of like derailed me seriously for a few years. Coming out of that and deciding that that wasn't going to be a part of our lives anymore was really what Broken Wings was about.
During their time of recovery, Richard Page had a bass line that he was working on. And from there, Broken Wings took flight. The song spent 22 weeks on the charts, hitting the #1 spot on December 6, 1985. A little known fact about Richard Page is this: he was actually invited to replace Bobby Kimball when he parted with Toto, and Peter Cetera when he left Chicago. Now, Richard Page, of course, turned down both gigs, believing that he could make it with his own band, with his own songs, and which he did. Duran Duran were everywhere in 1985. After many near #1s in the years prior, the boys hit the top of the charts with a Reflex in 1984. And then one fateful night, their bassist, John Taylor, himself a lifelong James Bond fan, walked up to famed James Bond producer Cubby Broccoli at a party. And with a bit of a buzz from drinking, he said something to the effect of, "When are you going to get someone decent to do one of your theme songs?" This led to serious talks that resulted in the boys from Duran Duran joining up with legendary film composer John Barry. Now, the band gave him many musical ideas, and Barry was skilled enough at choosing the best one and arranging the music. In the end, A View to a Kill became the first and only James Bond theme to hit the #1 spot on the Hot 100 on July 12, 1985. Carly Simon's Nobody Does It Better and Paul McCartney's Live and Let Die were very close. They hit the #2 spot. Recently, Adele and Billie Eilish hit #8 and #16, respectively, with their themes. When composer John Barry passed away some years ago, Duran Duran paid homage to him at Coachella, with Simon Le Bon sporting a tux. Now, in 1985, no one was bigger than Mr. Phil Collins. His solo record, No Jacket Required, won the Grammy for Album of the Year. And he had 3 chart toppers, including his electrifying Prince-influenced slammer, Sussudio. Phil said that he improvised the lyric playing around on a drum machine, and Sussudio is what he started to sing. He said, and I quote, "I kind of knew I had to find something else for that word, and then I went back and tried to find another word that scanned as well and couldn't find one, so I went back to Sussudio." The song really is basically about a kid who has a massive crush on a girl at his school. One interesting note, the synth rhythm, the synth bass arrangement, and the sound design and programming. It was actually put together by David Frank from The System, who had a big hit years later with Don't Disturb This Groove. I love that song. Now, Sussudio was also inspired by Phil Collins' love of Prince's song 1999. He said as much over the years. It went to #1 on July 6, 1985. Kevin Cronin and Reo Speedwagon started the 80s off with a bang as the album High Infidelity and Keep On Lovin' You, both released in 1980, hit number 1 in 1981. 4 years later, REO would hit number 1 again with their power ballad, Can't Fight This Feeling. Now right now you can see our mini documentary with Kevin about this song. Just click on the link below. In our discussion, Kevin said that when he was writing the song, that he came up with a lyric that he was unsure about.
And then the next line, which of course I've caught so much crap for, it's time to bring this ship into the shore and throw away the oar. I mean, I get so much crap for that line, and deservedly. I mean, it's just, but it's like, that came to me.
The pacing, though, and the rhyming of that just worked.
It worked. It was like, I knew I was going to get for it because it's almost bubble gum. And I was like, I knew that there would be a lot of people that would hate it, but I also had this feeling that it would stick in people's in heads so much that I couldn't possibly not use it in the song.
Kevin also said, and I quote, really what the song is about was about my inability to have the courage to express myself. The song has been massive in pop culture over the last few years, having been used in Stranger Things, American Horror Story, Glee, South Park, Rock of Ages, and the documentary Penguins. That's just in the last few years. It's one of those songs that takes you right back to 1985 the second that you hear it. So let's celebrate these great songs, the 4 that I've just gone through, by clicking on our curated playlist included in the link below. It's the 1985 Music Celebration, and we want to hear your comments. Give us your take on the best of 85 below, and don't forget to subscribe. Help us build this community and keep the music alive. Until next time, 3 chords and the truth, my friends.